What's like happening in America, B? You shouldn't come here, B. Just live here, B.
No doubt,
So,
no doubt.
what's like happening there, B?
I need to move to the Philippines.
Yeah, you need to like move here.
And then he sent them, it named members of Congress as being weak and complicit in the steal, and then sent them to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol, where they stormed the Capitol.
So you see them storming
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Capitol?
yeah, B.
And a woman was killed. And Donald Trump is responsible for what happened today. But at the same time, we're also seeing the resilience of our democracy. We saw Vice President Mike Pence, in his role as President of the Senate, push back and choose the Constitution over his president. We saw Mitch McConnell deliver an impassioned speech talking about how we would not allow our democracy to go into decline by overturning the election. And now we are seeing...
See them walking around the Capitol, the
Yeah, yeah.
there where they do all the vote?
Yeah, B.
To do their constitutional duty. So this is a dark day in the images of what we happened, but it is also a great day because it shows the resilience of our democracy because Congress has not been deterred.
I've been there before.
Doing its job and meeting its constitutional responsibilities despite the rioters.
I went to Washington and took a tour of the Capitol building. I've been on that floor before, toured it and stuff. You know,
the president, and who believe that the courts let them down and believe that.
What is like kind of like a siege? What's like a siege?
Oh my God! Look at them. They're climbing over the walls and stuff.
Oh my.
A lot of the senators and all is coming out and saying, "Look at that door.
Yeah.
How it was smashed."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're saying that Donald Trump is the one who initiated all this.
Well, it looks like it because he knew.
Look at that, see?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awaiting remarks from
Look at all those people.
Mitch McConnell. Oh my God. Oh, actually, here when there's like something like that, when people is like like people who would like attend
Look at
all
that. See those people right there? Just
yeah. Attending like the rallies or whatever like that, so to cause commotion, whatever. They said like someone is like paying them. These people are like mostly like like those who don't have like a job. Maybe maybe someone paid those people to like go there and do that. Those who have like lost their job or whatever, those were like kind of like in desperate time now, B? No? You think?
I don't know, baby. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, B.
I'm gonna see what they're saying on here. See what they're saying.
Yeah.
We're looking at really seems to be the tail end of this effort to clear out the Capitol grounds. You can see some of the Metro Police that are behind me right now with their rank here. As you look past them, it's hard to see right now, but some of the National Guardsmen are back there supplementing their ranks. It looks like they're in a rest position right now with their shields on the ground. But what we saw starting a little more than an hour ago, actually a little more than 2 hours ago, is they started all the way up at the Capitol building there to the northwest side. And with a very deliberate force, started pushing the crowds off of those grounds. They cleared the entire line when they did that. And as they pushed, they weren't gentle about it. They were knocking guys down. They had the truncheons at the ready. And there was a lot of pushing and shoving and scuffling going back and forth as they did that. But they moved everybody out here. We've seen them do it. We're now to the west of the Capitol on Pennsylvania Avenue. And we saw at times they changed up their tactics. At one point, they enveloped the remaining protesters, spooked them a bit, then created an opening where they could walk out, and the protesters who were here still took advantage of that opportunity. They got got out of here instead of getting arrested for violating the curfew. So as we continue to take a look around, you've got more Metro Police over there, and just really a handful of protesters to the west of them who remain. So this effort to clear the Capitol grounds is rather efficient, and as we're looking at it now, Martha, it appears to have been rather effective. But one thing I would note is how similar this has been to so many other demonstrations that have given, disregard the fact that it was at the U.S. Capitol, but how similar the tactics of the demonstrators came to the Black Lives Matter demonstrators and people in St. Ferguson that they so resent. They did the same things. These bike racks that are used to control the crowds. They took these and used those as barricades against the advancing law enforcement officers. They heckled the law enforcement officers, berating them throughout this process, really villainizing them. And a lot of these people are the ones who say that they support law and order. So it's a really dramatic and sad scene that we've seen out here. But it appears, as far as the large number of people who've been out here to the west side of the Capitol, that is drawing to a close, Martha.
It's been a very tough year for members of law enforcement across this country, and today was just another example of the enormous pressure on them, and we thank them for what they do.
The president and many of the Trump team that the president was protesting spoke about and has written about and tweeted about, and actually mentioned to me 2 weeks ago at the Army-Navy game. There was no mention of that, and that disappointed the president. So those two of the things just moving the story forward. About how I feel about the whole thing, I just thought that the tone, the attitude of defiance played out in the Capitol. The lack of security stunned me. I do not know Trump supporters that have ever demonstrated violence that I know of in a big situation. The violence that I've seen taking place is whether it was after the RNC, is confrontation while there was a demonstration. That's why I personally was relieved to find out that the mayor of D.C., who suddenly became the law and order mayor, was going to put up the National Guard first. Where was that National Guard? Now, with that group that took over the Capitol, I don't think I'll ever see that in my lifetime again. I'm back to 1814, the last time we saw the Capitol breach like that. I think this is a culmination. This is a culmination of 4 years of them denying the president won the election, claiming the Russians flipped votes. This is 4 years of investigation, and there was 4 years now of a very frustrated electorate, 75 million that voted, and feel they haven't had their day in court, let alone lost in court. And that's what happened. My thought is overall, Martha, is that they say in rehab, and I know so many people that have gone through it, things have to hit rock bottom before you get better. We have hit rock bottom, I hope. And now maybe people say enough other rhetoric and trying to score points, and now it's time to dial it back, Republicans and Democrats, and do this thing called cooperation, make deals, and get something done.
Just a minute left, Brian. What do you think about the future of the Republican Party? We've talked about it a lot, but you see this division, and even between the president and the vice president, as you pointed out some of the reasons for that today.
I'll take a word that the president's been using, dismount. The president's had a horrible, in my view, dismount from November 3rd. And how he leaves will decide how he comes back and how much momentum he has. When you leave Senator Lee on the sideline, Senator Lindsey Graham on the sideline, Senator Tom Cotton on the sideline, and put him on the bad list, and now you have a vice president there, that's a problem. And I think these people that have been there from day one, you don't want to alienate them. The president's got a couple of weeks to bring them back together and decide if he wants to lead. For the Republicans, they pretty much agree on almost every policy issue. It's the personality issue that divided. The president's still the leader. The last 2 weeks will decide how long that will last.
Brian, thank you very much. Good to see you here tonight. We'll watch you obviously on Fox and Friends in the morning. Thank you very much. What a day. So that is the story of Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021. So much has changed since we woke up this morning. And as always, the story continues. So we will see you back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Take care, everybody. Watch throughout the evening as this vote gets back underway.
People say that Trump is the one who staged this today.
Okay.
So it's serious.
Yeah.
And to think about the Capitol building has never been penetrated, has never been stormed like that.
For that to
Since
happen, so yeah.
1814. Since 1814.
Okay.
That's 200 years.
Oh my goodness. What is it
They did it today. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, baby. Honestly, because the 25th Amendment to the Constitution says that if the president is incapacitated or no longer able to function in the office of president, he can and will be removed from office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's curfew in effect, National Guard on scene at Capitol. Breaking story. I don't know what they're saying. Let me turn it up. It's wild, baby. It's wild. You can see right there.
What's like happening in America, B? You shouldn't come here, B. Just leave here, B.
No doubt. No doubt.
What's like happening there, B?
I need to move to the Philippines.
Yeah, you need to like move here.
And then he sent them, named members of Congress as being weak and complicit in the steal, and then sent them to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol, where they stormed the Capitol.
So you see them storming
Yeah,
into the Capitol?
yeah, B.
And a woman was killed. And Donald Trump is responsible for what happened today. But at the same time, we're also seeing the resilience of our democracy. We saw Vice President Mike Pence, in his role as President of the Senate, push back and choose the Constitution over his president. We saw Mitch McConnell deliver an impassioned speech talking about how we would not allow our democracy to go into decline by overturning the election. And now we are seeing...
See them walking around the Capitol,
Yeah.
there where they do all the vote?
Yeah, B.
To do their constitutional duty. So this is a dark day in the images of what we happened, but it is also a great day because it shows the resilience of our democracy because Congress has not been deterred.
I've been there before.
Doing its job and meeting its constitutional responsibilities despite the rioters.
I went to Washington, took a tour of the Capitol building. I've been on that floor before, toured it and stuff. You know,
the president and who believe that the courts let them down and believe that
What is like kind of like a siege? What's like a siege or like a coup d'etat, whatever? But not really.
Changed and ended up being detrimental to Republicans' cause in the election. What do you say to them tonight? The frustration that they feel separate from these people who breached the wall, the frustration that they feel, them wanting to sort of throw over the apple cart and get a system that they think is more fair. What would you say to them this evening?
Well, first of all, if you think back to the race riots we had this summer, when people were, they burned down, they tried to burn down St. John's Church in Lafayette Park, and actually burned down a building in Lafayette Park. They burned down businesses, they killed business owners and individuals. A lot more death and destruction caused by that. And the Democrats were appalled when Republicans pointed to the violence, and they said most of them are peaceful protesters. Well, the same is true for Trump supporters. Most of them are peaceful protesters. There were a lot of people there today. There wasn't a few hundred, it wasn't dozens, it was thousands of people causing mayhem. But most of the people out in the country, people who go to Trump rallies, are peaceful protesters who support the president. And the fact is, they have been lied to by the president of the United States. He is telling them lies. They believe that their democracy has been stolen, so they're angry and upset. And here's the problem. On one hand, Congress as an institution has stood up and do its job, but another important institution has failed us, which is the media. Because whose job is it to debunk the lies? It's the media's job to debunk the lies. But the problem is, from Trump supporters' perspective, these are the same people who spread for 2 years the Russia collusion conspiracy theory that Trump had colluded with Vladimir Putin to steal the election. They pushed the Steele dossier. They attacked the president nonstop and distorted his record, wouldn't give him credit for the things he did right, attacked him and distorted the things they felt he did wrong. And so there's no trust. They don't trust the media, and so we've lost the only arbiter of truth that we have, which is the independent free press. And so as a result, the truth lies in tatters, and we can't even agree on what the truth is. And in a sense, if you feel the election was stolen from you, despite the fact that there's not evidence that it was stolen, that feeling is enough because the president says it, and the media isn't credible enough to revive it.
Mark, thank you. Always good to have you with us, especially on a night like this. Mark Thiessen joining us. So my next guest says that she is outraged over the, quote, insincere, fake D.C. patriots who showed up today. Former Alaska governor and former GOP vice presidential nominee Derek Phelan joins me now. Governor Phelan, good to have you with us tonight.
That's one hot politician. I'm just going to tell you straight up.
Call these people fake
What, the one with like the red flag?
Anybody who would storm the Capitol and create this, at least the perception of condoned violence, is not a true patriot, is not one who is supporting law and order, which is a foundation that conservatives stand upon. So, what Mark was just saying, though, Martha, is so spot on about how dangerous it is in our time in society to not be able to trust the media. And I've been saying this for years and years. When we can't trust on either side, really, what the information that's being fed to us, then things like this will be a result, because there's so much frustration out there that some misguided, very, very wrong-headed yahoos are out there causing this mayhem, and and a lot of it is the media's fault. But Martha, keep in mind, we don't know who all were the instigators in this, of these horrible things that happened today. I think a lot of it is the Antifa folks. I've been sent pictures of the same characters who were captured on images today storming the Capitol, as had been in protests on the other side of politics earlier in the summer. So, I don't know, there's a lot of questions out there, and I wish we could trust the media to do its job, to go research, report who all these people are.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm looking for is whether or not we see arrests for the individual and they secure the perimeter of the Capitol. Good night.
This is a Fox News alert. At this moment, lawmakers in Washington and the vice president are back on Capitol Hill. They plan to finish certifying the Electoral College vote shortly. We're told that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is about to make an address, and of course we'll take you there in a moment.
Anyway, I don't know if you knew what was going on there or not.
I didn't. I don't know if like, but it's like, no, if it's like happening now, maybe there's like something like a news, but not really like, maybe later, and like if it's like a night, night news.
I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to practice my guitar, and I'll call you before I go to bed, okay?
Yeah, why not pray for America, B? Oh my God, it's like, but yeah, it's like that look like yeah, that look like something would have happened in like the Magdala, whatever. But no, do you think you would have like a martial law there, B?
Not here where I live. Unless if it gets really bad, then there's martial law here within the second Civil War is well underway.
Yeah.
I hope it's not going to come to that, but
Yeah, B.
I don't know.
Well, that just proved what people would do with power.
Yep. All right, baby.
Yeah,
I love you, and I'll call you later, okay?
Yeah, B, love you.
Love you.
I love you. Later.
Maybach